Mike Bohn here in Southern California with Marlon Chito Vera, who is fighting Cory Sandhagen a little over a month from now, March 25th. But it was supposed to be this past weekend. Chito, like, any FOMO when you were watching that card, being like, hey, I was supposed to be in this main event?
Well, first of all, when they asked me, hey, there's a change we need to do, my first question was, what are my options?
Yeah.
Can I say I want to till the 18 or is take it or nothing? They kind of give me an option, but it was kind of like, you have to take this in a way. I was ready to go on Saturday. Like 2 weeks ago, when they called us and asked us what we think, I was ready to go. But at the end of the day, what we can do? Go against the company, say, fuck you, I don't want to fight, and leave the fight? I don't want to leave my opportunity, so I say, fuck it, What else can I do? Just train a little more, a little extra time, maybe eat a little extra, but really, there's nothing really I can do. I got to stay in shape. I got to keep my focus on and just keep blowing away. And I'm pretty ready to go. So I'm looking backwards or looking back. I don't have no regrets. I've been working my ass off, and I'm going to put this guy out.
What was the reason? Like, did Cory need more time, or did they just need a main event for that San Antonio card with, like, the crowd and everything?
They never mentioned anything about my opponent or anything. What I believe is that this San Antonio card, it's live on ESPN.
Yeah.
So they need somebody to, to put in a fun fight. It's live on national television, so, they called me. Why not?
Best case scenario, right? Like, I know to go from the Apex, I know a lot was made of that, but a full crowd on ESPN, 2 main events on ESPN in a row for you now, like, this can only be good for the brand.
That's huge for the brand. That's huge for my name. That's huge for my future. A lot of opportunities can come out of it. But at the end of the day, I just need to win, right? So if it's in the Apex, in the alley, in the parking lot, doesn't matter. You need to win. So I was a little bummed, but at the end of the day, the bigger the stage, the bigger the shine. So why not?
Yeah, more time to, I guess, study Cory and everything. Like, what do you make of, I guess, just him as an opponent? Like, he seemed to at first have a pretty tricky style, but now he's had a lot of fights. Maybe some people have figured him out, more tape, things like that. Do you feel like you have him pretty well scouted at this point, especially with the extra time?
He's a great opponent. He's a good fighter. I don't really get it too much into seeing what they do or how they do it. I focus on myself. I can guarantee you I'm a way better fighter than I was in the Cruz fight. I haven't taken a foot out of the gym. My mind is right. I'm happy. I'm stoked to be here. And a lot of people, when they get big opportunities, once at the beginning they're all happy and excited and they're very hungry. Once they kind of like conquer a little bit, they kind of like let that go. I'm the opposite. I'm just as happy as my first main event. I'm happy with my life, with my surroundings, with my team, with what I'm doing today. So you guys will see on the 25th a really better version of myself and somebody that is ready to go. So whatever my opponent is, whatever they're doing, doesn't matter. It's really me versus me. It's me outdoing myself from yesterday, and I'm a better fighter. I'm really a better fighter right now than I was a couple months ago.
Where do you think that mindset comes from? Is it like just your deep passion and love for the sport? Like, I feel like you couldn't say what you just said there if you didn't really care about what you're doing. You're not just going there, fighting for the paycheck only. It seems like every part of you loves what you're doing here.
I love it. I really love it. And what triggers me is the evolution. I want to be better. I want to be faster. I want to be sharper. And you can only get that staying in the gym. And I think I admire the right people. I think I admire the reason I keep this mentality of putting repetition over time or staying consistent on like being months ahead of my opponents is because I admire Kobe Bryant. The way he talks, the way he acts, like we don't have enough season. Dana goes, yo, you want to fight? This is the biggest opportunity. Pay-per-view card, you're making millions of bucks. Take it or leave it. We are in that type of a sport. And I love that too. I love the fact that you can be on a normal day training and they can be like, yo, you're fighting for the title next week, something happened. I love that. I like that adrenaline. I like that craziness. I like that from that short notice feeling that you were literally eating a cheeseburger and then they call you. That's not what I eat, but it's just an example, whatever. And that triggers me. That makes me want to stay here all the time, makes me want to get better. And then, big shit happen. Like Kobe used to say, like, in the off-season, he's practicing one thing. By the time his opponents, the other teams start the season, he's already miles away. He already ran a couple miles extra every day. By the time anybody he's competing against, he have years and miles and repetition ahead. And that's what I take proud of myself, because I'm always doing something. I'm always in the gym. I'm always trying to evolve. And I'm not really paying attention to the surroundings or what people think or what people feel. I can give two fucks about that. Yeah. I'm always worried about just getting better and staying in a good state of mind.
Yeah, that's the right mindset. I mean, you'd hear stories about Kobe, like his teammates would go down to go to training at 6 a.m. and they'd see him in the lobby coming back, and he had already have trained for 2 hours in the morning. And I can see that you're the first person here in the gym, like between all your teammates and stuff. So it seems like you've adopted that philosophy pretty well.
I love that when I'm from Ecuador. We don't have big basketball. We don't have, but I like to do research. I like to go online and just type who's the best at this, who's the best at that. And when I came across him, I really fell in love with the mentality. I really fell in love with the attitude. And that's, what else can you have, right? If you have one shot at this fucking life, why not go for the best, the most, and just try it harder? We're all gonna die at some point. Might as well do something cool and right now.
I didn't know the interview was going to go this direction, but did you ever get to meet Kobe when he did that thing at the Fighter Summit, like all those years ago? No.
It was too early in my career. Right. Back then, no, actually, I was there. Yeah. I was there. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was my first UFC summit. Yeah.
The first and only, I think they did.
The last one. And when he was talking on there, I knew about him before. Right. For example, I don't know how he looks, right, who he is. I just read about him, right? Mm-hmm. So the repetition, the overtime, all that, I get it. But then when he was speaking, it took me a couple minutes to realize, oh, this is the guy I'm a fan of. Right. It was almost too late. I didn't get to take a picture with him. I didn't get to shake his hands. That happened a lot with me. Sometimes I know about somebody, but I don't know how they look. I just hear about them and read about them. Yeah. And then I can have it in front of me and I would never know they're in front of me. Right. So you're right, I actually forget about that. I actually hear him talking in person. You can see the energy is real. He just don't talk it. He's not about the talk, he's about it. And that's what I try to adopt out of people, because there's so many people out there, there's so many cool people. Sometimes people look at the wrong people and try to act the wrong way, and they never get to the finish line because of that. I like to see people that it's about it, do it, conquer it, and it's still on it for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Sad loss for everyone. I think it was just the anniversary last month or something. Yeah. But nevertheless, Cory said your style of winning is not reliable. Did you see that quote? What did you make of that?
That's just his opinion. That's what he thinks, right? He needs to convince himself of being okay to win. I don't need to say anything about him to think I'm going to win. I'm going to win because I'm working this hard. So if he thinks my style is not reliable or whatever he thinks, that's on him. He's going to wake up and be like, fuck, I get caught. No, you don't get caught. You get knocked the fuck out or you get submitted. Like, I feel a lot of fighters today, they kind of like want to see something and convince themselves like, oh, he's not a good wrestler. I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight my ass off in every position. I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm not going to strike you. I'm not going to jiu-jitsu you. I'm going to fight you. Whatever he thinks about my style, you still got to face me. You still got to go through me. And I got 20 minutes to figure it out and put you out. So, cool, Cory. Go to the forest and be a hippie.
Would you say that's even like really your style, though, or is it just the way some of these few fights have happened to play out? Like, I'm sure when you watch the tape back, you'd rather go in there, win every minute of every round, and be dominating beginning to end. Things don't always pan out that way. It's a fight, but when you look back at these, are you like annoyed with yourself? Like, I could have done this better. I should have done this better, or are you like, I got the end result I wanted. It's all good.
Like, the moment we're done with the fight, me and coach have like a conversation for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Like before we start talking shit or going for a drink or going for food, we talk, right? We talk about it. I ask him, even after the sparring, I ask him, what you like, what you dislike, and we go from there. And then I take a couple of days off, heal my body, we come back, and we start working again, working on the basics, trying to perfecting things, trying to keep adding tools to the game, and just each sparring session, see, that show up, this didn't show up, we need to do this, we need to do that. So we're always talking about evolve on that. So when I go and look my fights, I see myself like, yeah, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, when I'm in there, I'm 1,000% ready. I did everything I could. I eat properly. I went to bed on time. I show up to the gym. I push myself, get my repetitions, and just I'm always trying just to get better and like keep the hunger on me. And when I go and see those fights, I always see something. I just want it way more than anybody else, and that's what is giving me success because I'm always looking forward to get it done. I'm always looking forward to break you, and always looking forward to accept the challenge and go for it.
That makes sense. So what do you think is at stake here? I mean, it seems like we have just got the announced fight for the title between Aljamain and Henry Cejudo. That's going to be May 6th. It seems like. Do you feel like this lines you up perfectly to get the winner? There's the Sean O'Malley, thing lingering out there. He claims that he's been promised the winner. Like, how do you think all the pieces fit together here when you win?
I know something for a matter of fact. I love Dana. I love the UFC. But sometimes they promise something and they have to change it. They go on the fly too. They play things by ear. They call you. You don't like the date, they call the next guy. That's the way the business works. So honestly, whatever is happening outside me, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Right now it's not about the title. Right now it's about to beat Cory Sandhagen. I saw him, he's talking about he want to fight O'Malley, he want to fight for the belt. That's not my mindset. I don't give two fucks about anybody in the world. I just care about beating the fuck out of this guy, move forward, and just make the best that I can out of all this.
And you say that every time we have to ask you the questions, but I love how you stick true to that philosophy, and it obviously goes to show that that truly is your mindset, because every time we talk to you, we ask you these similar things, what next, what happens here, there, and you give us the same answer, and it's respectable.
You can't wipe your ass before you shed, so you have to stay consistent what you have in front of you. I see many guys in the past, they have, they're fighting somebody, and they're talking so much shit about these other 5 guys. That's energy. That's wasting of time. That's keeping your mind away from the goal. Then they go in there and then they get their arse kicked. Guess what? You're not doing none of what you were talking. So I stick true to what's in front of me, and it's not gonna be easy. No one is easy in this division, in the entire UFC. I don't care how much you suck. You're still gonna fight. So, I got this fucker in front of me, and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him.
And I think, as an analyst, I know you do that as well, but if you looked at any division and saw someone in your situation, if you win, and another contender like Sean O'Malley, who you beat, and they're talking about that person getting the title shot before you, it does seem a little backwards, just from, an outside perspective.
In a way it is, but also the way the UFC works, there's things that you can control. Let's see, I just fought, and they fought a month after. It's almost like I don't have enough time, so they just slide somebody in, but I just need to win, do something cool out there, and they always give me what I want anyway. So I know for the fans, for the people outside, they just see the headlines. Oh, this person's fighting for the belt. Oh, I think this person deserves it. I talk to them. I think the best way to handle is just talking to them privately, and they give you what you want. If you give them what they want too, it's a catch-22. You got to do something in order to get something. So I got in there March 25th. I put this guy out. I'm going to get a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like things are going to break your way regardless. But since we're kind of on the analyst tip, I'll ask you about a few bantamweight fights coming up. How do you think Petr and Merab Dvalishvili goes on March 11th?
That's a great fight. I feel the thing with Merab is if he can get a hold of you, he really have a bad striking game. He's not a good striker. He comes and throw big hooks. He throws hard. But a guy like Jan knows how to fight. If Aldo was kicking his ass in the first round, but Aldo don't have the energy to keep up, right? Yeah. So if Jan is not able to out-wrestle him, and Merab is not able, I think he's gonna be there for a long night, because he doesn't show he have improved his striking. He cannot stay in the pocket and be calm. He would throw big hooks to shoot. Jan is somebody that can fight that, and it's everything where his mind is at right now. Right now, Merab have the big opportunity. He's probably more excited. He's probably more hungry. We'll see where he's at, because against O'Malley, Jan looked like shit. Right. I get O'Malley is good too. Everybody's good. I always say this, but he didn't look prepared. In a 3-rounder, he got tired, and then he fought many 5-rounders and never got tired. That seems he was fucking around a little bit. Or he just gave up mentally. Who knows? I can't tell you that because I'm not him, but if you look great in 5-rounders and you get tired in the 3-rounder, you're probably not throwing your ass off the way you should.
Yeah, something seemed up. And then what about the title fight? I mean, can Henry Cejudo come back after 3 years and be able to beat Aljamain, or is Aljamain, just in too good a form right now, do you think?
That's that's tricky, right? 3 years out of the game, you definitely will forget the feeling, the nerves, everything. And then when you're in there, but the guy's a good competitor. He won Olympic medals. He won UFC titles. I believe his titles at 25 are legit. His title at 35 was, off the blue, a short notice against Cruz. So that's hard to know. Like, did he's really a contender at 135? He moved great. He closed the gap great. He have good striking, high level wrestling. I would say Sterling is more hot right now in the game. He's been fighting a lot. He's been having good competition in front of him. We will see what happened there. But when I say good competition, big names, right? TJ came hurt. The fights before that is a lot of drama with Jam. So it's almost like he haven't solidified himself yet.
It's a weird title reign for sure.
It's definitely a weird thing. And also, he paid attention a lot to what people say. He answers to everything. So maybe his mind is in the right place. Yeah. And then Cejudo can catch him. Who knows? Fuck those two guys, honestly. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. And just last two people I wanted to ask you about. TJ retired after that. Jose Aldo retired now too. I mean, is it kind of sad seeing those two marquee names of this bantamweight division kind of having moved on at this point? Or, I know you wanted the rematch with Aldo one day. It seems like maybe you won't get that now.
Yeah, and for me, that's in the past. The moment I lost a fight, I let it go. I took it like a man, moved forward, and because the way I took the loss is the fighter I became. I took that for good. I got a lot of experience, and I think they both make a lot of good things for the division, right? Aldo is the best 45er ever. I don't care what you do now. There's new guys, of course, but he did it on his time. He was the best ever. There's no one best ever. There's, you gotta see it every 10, 15 years. On his time, he was the best ever to do it. He put a good mark in the sport. And then TJ, between him and Cruz, they're the best two in this division in the last 10 years, right? Is that positive? Sure. But, they catch him one time. They can improve it. He did it every single time. So I will give you the benefit of the doubt. And he's still doing a lot of great things for this division. So they definitely paved the road for a lot of younger guys and people like me that I'm just hitting my prime. So, good for them. And we got to appreciate those guys at the end of the day.
And you flip it to the other side, so much young talent coming up in this division. You got Umar Nurmagomedov, Raul Rosas Jr. Do you keep a side eye on these guys? I know they're not really in your proximity to fight, right now, but a couple years down the line, who knows where they get to?
I always keep an eye. I'm a guy that I just watch fights. I will watch for the first fight of the night to the last fight of the night at every single event. So just by default, I know pretty much everybody just because I like the sport. I like to watch, and they all bring something to the table. At the end of the day, they got to get tested. They got to get in there and they got to fight somebody, And we'll see what they do.
For sure. And last but not least, how do you think you win this fight against Cory? Do you feel like this is going to be a tough fight, all 5 rounds, or do you think you are able to maybe finish him earlier on?
It's going to be a great, epic thing coming from me. So I know he's a great opponent. I'm just greater. I work too hard for this, and I'm not going to let him take anything from my plate. So I'm going to get in there March 25th, ready to go. I'm willing to beat the fuck out of him. And if we go deep, let's see who can dig more, because I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you, Chito. Always a blast talking to you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.